It's time for San Diego's own Approved Home Pro Show, your friends in the home improvement business. Kogo is proud to welcome your hosts, Linda Martin and Greg Cantor.
Hello, everyone. I hope you had a good Thanksgiving. And Greg, I don't know if you're still full, but I am.
Oh, I'm stuffed. I'm a little bit lethargic today, but we'll get this done.
It's all that tryptophan. That's resident expert and co-host Greg Cantor there. And, you know, we have a great show here today. I wanted to talk about some of the Thanksgiving facts, because every year people talk about this. How many calories are actually in a Thanksgiving dinner? You know, I know it varies for
thousands, right?
Right. So I just looked it up on Google. It's an average of 4,500 calories.
So what does that include? Does that include alcohol too?
Probably. But I mean, I would imagine, because then I looked up, like the one Big Mac, how many calories. So it's about 563. So you could have 7 Big Macs and still have less than a Thanksgiving dinner.
So what would make you feel worse? 7 Big Macs or 5,000 calories for Thanksgiving dinner?
I don't know. I think it's a toss-up because you just feel like you wait all day, you smell the great smells, and then you just eat it, and now it's leftovers time. So, hey, if you got up early, I know a lot of people are off right now, but we learned the signs to look out for when it comes to being upsold or sold something you don't really need for your home, plus how to get an energy audit to evaluate your home's efficiency and how comfortable you are. So if you missed that on ABC 10 this morning because you were sleeping in, you can watch online at ApprovedHomePros.com in our show archive section. So, Greg, we're going to talk about windows. We're going to talk about turf this morning. We're going to talk about your company and all of the different projects you have going on.
Right.
But first, energy-efficient windows. We're going to learn about that and why it's important. And we have Kai Salmon here, San Diego's Best Windows. That's where he's from. And hey, thanks for being here.
Hey, thanks for having me.
Are you full too? You must be.
Oh, still full. It's too good.
That's what everyone's talking about. Okay, so inefficient windows, they can cause massive energy loss. And of course, you spend more on utilities. So talk about the importance of getting good windows.
Oh, yeah. Good windows is a big game changer in the home because in a normal home, single pane windows, you can lose up to 30% energy. And so going with a brand new vinyl window, big improvements on the pocketbook.
So besides the obvious, which is, feeling cold in the wintertime and hot in the summertime, what signs can someone see to know that it's time to replace their windows?
One of the big things that I look for is any sort of cracking in the glazing. If there's cracking in the glazing, if you have aluminum windows, a lot of the old aluminum windows are single pane, so the energy efficiency is pretty poor. That's kind of a big telltale sign.
Okay, so, the basics of window technology, it's come a long way from the way they used to be, certainly. So how do they reduce energy loss?
So what they do now is they actually put dual pane windows, so it's actually 2 pieces of glass with an insulating layer in between, and they'll put a triple layer coating of silver on the inside of the windows, and the silver helps all of the transfer of energy back and forth.
So it doesn't reflect, it just transfers the energy between the 2 panes of glass?
It'll actually reflect out, and so any sunlight coming in, it'll reflect the ultraviolet rays as well as the UV rays.
And who needs double pane windows? Would it apply pretty much to everybody?
I would think so nowadays, definitely. Yeah.
So we're talking about your company, San Diego's Best Windows. You specialize in window replacements, right?
Correct.
So somebody that has metal frame windows that are single glazed or even dual glazed sometimes are energy inefficient.
Sure.
Or old wood sash, the old wood frame windows where they're double hungs. Those would be candidates to change out to your new products?
Oh, definitely. Yeah, definitely. Any of the old school windows, anything that's probably made before 1980, big candidate for changing into the new windows nowadays.
We're talking about heat and cold transfer. When I was in college, it was upstate New York, and I remember waking up in the morning at we're talking about old windows, and I'd wake up and I'd open the curtain and you could see frost all on the inside and then snow up halfway, and I thought, oh, God. Forget it.
Right, yeah.
I'm staying home.
yeah. With the single panes, you have up to a 15-degree difference between the 7-foot height in the home and a 2-foot height in the home. And so when you switch to a new dual pane, you go. I think it varies down to about 6 to 7 degrees difference. So much different changes in the home.
Well, I would imagine that's because heat rises, right?
Yep. Exactly.
What does cold do?
It sinks down. It
Right.
does. And then when you have the little kids crawling around on the ground, I mean, it's a big concern. The elderly, you always see them with blankets on their legs. When you go with the new dual planes, you can avoid a lot of that.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
All right, so we're talking with Kai Salmon from San Diego's Best Windows, talking about upgrading them and making them better. And you can give him a call at 858-519-1590 or go to approvedhomepros.com/hero. We're talking about how people finance this as well with the Renovate America's Hero program. We're going to talk about that when we come back in just a few minutes here. And we'll talk about some of the soundproofing and UV protection. There's a lot of different aspects that you can have for getting better windows. Good reasons to do it. All right, so we'll talk about all of that with Kai. And before we go, though, we want to talk about our Ace Hardware Project of the Week. And this is so exciting for me, Greg, because I love decorating for the holidays. I was crazy about Halloween, and now it's time to decorate for Christmas.
So you took the Halloween decorations down, and now you're getting geared up for Christmas?
I am, yes. And I already bought lights and all kinds of stuff. And this is the weekend that most people do it right after Thanksgiving.
And Ace Hardware is a great place to go to get these products for your home, right?
Right. So we have the Ace Project of the Week talking about decorating safety tips. So as the holidays are near, we scramble to buy, the perfect gifts, decorate the house, plan all the parties. So many of us abandon our sense of safety. I mean, think about the times that you've been on a ladder. I know you are safer than most, I think, for that. But I've been on the rickety ladder to hang the lights, and I'm no pro, or overloaded an outlet with too many light strings. But there's ways that you can get around that now. There are safer options.
There is, and you can switch to LED holiday light strands. Are more energy efficient, safe, and long-lasting. LED holiday lights are cooler than incandescent light strings, reducing the risk of fire and personal injury.
And because they use less power, it's safer to connect all those strings of the LED holiday lights end to end without overloading the wall socket. The new Celebrations Platinum LED holiday lights from Ace Hardware can connect up to 36 sets.
That's true. And if you're still using incandescent light strands, be sure to follow the instructions on the package as to how you can connect them together. It's typically only 2 or 3, not 10 or 12.
And make sure your outdoor lights are plugged into a GFCI receptacle. What is that, by the way? GFCI receptacle.
It's a ground fault receptacle for safety so you don't burn your house down.
Okay, that's really good. So I'm going to ask about that. That's the one with the reset button in the center for the safety. If you don't have outdoors, purchase an extension cord that has that to protect against the short circuits. Your neighborhood Ace Hardware store has everything you need to decorate this holiday season, from ladders to lights, you've got it covered there. Visit sdacehardware.com to find the Ace Hardware in your neighborhood, and we'll be right back.
Welcome back to the Approved Home Pro Show, San Diego's most trusted home improvement resource.
And welcome back to the Approved Home Pro Show. We are talking with one of our faves here, Bob Briley from We Care. How are you?
I'm doing great. How are you guys doing?
Okay, we always ask you, what are you doing? Where are you? At some lake? Are you in the snow? What's going on?
I'm actually on my way to a no heating call.
Oh,
Ooh.
wow.
Well, how appropriate is that? That's such a great segue.
So we were just
I
talking
know, it's like
turkey.
2 days after Thanksgiving. It's like 2 days after Thanksgiving, and it's like, oh my gosh, hopefully they had heat during the Thanksgiving holiday, but
I know, using it to heat up the turkeys.
So Bob, what do people need to look out for as far as their furnaces go?
well, the obvious for the homeowner attack would be if they turn their thermostat on and obviously there's no heat. There's really not much the homeowner can really do to prevent the heater from breaking besides just the normal maintenance of your filtration system. But everything else is mostly electronics. Like I've seen a lot of igniters going out, the vent that goes up through the roof. We've had, birds in there. We've had
Spiders
and leaves. I mean, there's all kinds of stuff. You wouldn't think things would get actually into that vent, but it actually does, and it causes a problem because it won't allow your heating system to actually start up and work because there's so many safety devices that tell it not to come on.
And the thing that's really scary is old furnaces, the heat exchanger can crack, and that's very dangerous, so you should have it checked out.
Yes, we are actually certified to do heat exchanger checks, and yes, we find a lot of heat exchangers that have cracks in them.
Okay. Now, Bob, I know that you work many hours over the holidays, so people can call you at 951-375-0195 at We Care, and you'll come out and check it out if anybody has any issues.
Yes, definitely. Please give us a call if you have any issues, or just have your system just checked to make sure everything's running properly. I mean, that's a big concern.
Actually, the number is 619-333-8646. Is that correct?
Did we just give out
great.
his personal cell?
I think so.
Sorry, buddy.
It's all good.
It's going to be ringing off the hook, Bob. Sorry.
My wife, I have a lot of explaining with my wife on that one.
All right. Have a great day.
You too. Thank you.
Enjoy the leftovers. ApprovedHomePros.com. Quickly and easily, you can find the right pro for your home. If you need something we don't have listed, call us at 24/7 at 855-840-A-PRO, and we'll help track it down for you. All right, we're talking with Kai Salmon from San Diego's Best Windows about why it's really good to upgrade. And there are so many benefits to it. And we talked about some of the obvious ones. And one of them, maybe not so obvious, Kai, is UV protection.
Yeah, definitely. UV protection is a really big thing, especially if you have wood floors, especially, and really all your flooring. I mean, everything can be affected by UV light.
Couches.
Yeah, everything.
Draperies.
Yeah.
all
I've
of
had my
that.
clothes fade too. Some
Yeah.
of the nicest suits in my closet because we had a skylight, and then I didn't pay attention, and then I pulled it out, and one side was dark and the other side was light.
Yeah. Yeah.
So what percentage UV protection is a typical window that you install?
I think our UV rating is 0.29. It runs from 0 to 1, 1 being the worst, 0 being
Right.
the best. And so ours is at 0.29.
So that's pretty dang good.
Yeah, it's very nice.
And, we have planes that fly overhead around San Diego, too, and that's an issue. And I had this comparison when I was living in Liberty Station, where the planes are always overhead.
path.
The flight path, yes. And the first house I lived in had amazing windows. I could barely hear them. I didn't even notice it, really.
Yeah.
Then I moved to a place with not so great windows, and I could hear it. Almost the whole house shook.
Yeah, you can hear the shaking and everything.
So that's another good reason. Not only the flight path, but freeway noise, street noise, neighborly noise. I mean,
Yeah.
dual pane windows will alleviate that problem.
Yeah, exactly. I've got some neighbors, and they're college students, great guys, a little bit louder than I'd like them to be, and it's been a really nice thing. I just close my windows, and it's like they're not even there. It's great.
Something that's not on the bullet points here is curb appeal, which is another
Yeah.
huge reason to change your windows, right? I mean, there's a
definitely.
lot of different choices that people have to make when they do replace their windows, right?
Yeah, and I think the old school wood, the old school metal frame windows, they're a little outdated visual, and I think the new vinyl windows that they have just a nice upgraded visual that just feels really, really good.
So there's so many different choices, and a lot of people, I think, from my end, I think I don't really even know what would work here. But you can come in and take a look.
Oh yeah.
Okay, so you can give all those different things, and also the opening and closing. The
Security, too.
Oh, yeah, security. That's a big
security
thing.
is a huge thing, and for me, I don't want to. I want to be able to slam my window shut and walk away and know that it's totally safe. And so, an auto locking system is really, really important on a new window.
And what's another nice feature about your windows is the vent lock that you can
that
do,
security
right?
vent lock. Yeah, it's perfect. So
What is that? What is-
basically, it's a little tab that you flip down, and as long as the tabs flip down, the window can be operating and open and close without ever being able to be pulled out.
So if you like to have your windows open at night, let's say, but not all the way, but have security, this just gives you maybe a 6 or 8 inch
Yeah, it
opening.
gives you a 6-inch opening to still get airflow, but you also get that security peace of mind knowing that no one can go in or out.
That's nice. I mean,
Yeah.
let's face it. Living in San Diego County, I mean, you really do want to feel safe, but keep your windows open because there's
Yeah.
always a great breeze.
Yeah.
So you ready for my takeaways?
Yeah. Well, let's talk about financing real quick,
yes,
though, too.
sorry about
No. Just the Renovate America's Hero program. Let's talk about that because
Yeah.
people can get financing that way. Mm-hmm. Okay, so we'll talk about it.
Basically, Hero's a wonderful program. It's a state-backed financing option, and so the home takes on the loan, and so the home will actually take on all the project, and you get to pay it off of your property taxes, and so it has benefits of tax deductions at the end of the year.
Okay.
Very good.
All right, and your takeaways.
Well, if you have street noise or in the flight path, then chances are you might have single pane windows, so that's a good reason to replace them. If your house is not efficient, in other words, your air conditioning's running too long or your heater's running too long, that's another sign. And then if you have ugly metal frame windows or old wood sash windows that are looking cracked and, needing to be painted all the
I've
time.
had many of those.
If you want something maintenance free, this is a good solution.
All right. And one more time, we want to talk about San Diego's best windows. That number is 858-519-1590, or go to approvedhomepros.com/hero. Thank you so much.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
All right. Moving on to a different topic, we're going to talk about the renovations and all the things that you can do with your home overall. And there are so many aspects to it. So it's nice to know that we have our resident expert here. And Greg, we don't usually get to talk to you in depth about this. I know that you are always talking with our guests about your expertise, but you've been doing this for a long time with Murray Lampert. And so let's talk about the current projects that you have going on, because you have a lot going on. You're a busy guy,
and it's a really exciting time right now. People are in the mood to remodel. There's people that are retiring and inheriting homes or buying new homes that are really old and tired that need to be completely renovated. So the jobs that we're doing are really exciting, really fun to work with people, and that's part of our process. Is we want it to be fun and stress-free. We're full service, so we handle everything that an architecture firm would do and interior design, as well as handling the construction management and executing projects. So we're not really a contractor. We're more of, I would call us a hybrid, we're kind of a concierge type company where we're really working one-on-one with people throughout the process.
It's kind of like a one-stop shopping. I mean, to really put it in it, because you can do so much.
And you've seen what we do because you've been to our design center.
I went to the design center and I was really blown away, because I think that like a lot of customers who are not in the know, we're very visual. We want to see what it is that we could think about for our space. And a lot of times you can't see that, but you make them able to see that because you put this on this big computer screen that your daughter actually showed me.
Right.
That was even textures. If somebody said, well, I want this texture or that one, you can switch it out and actually see it.
And that's where our company's really evolved with technology and the programs we use so that we can show textures and colors and space planning and virtual walkthroughs. And because most people are not visual, and showing someone on a set of plans doesn't do justice, and it's hard for people to imagine themselves in the space. So it's a great tool. We have fun with it.
It's come a long way from because you think about the plans. What did they do in the olden days? When they had that and they had to
all
just
done
show
by
it.
hand in sketches.
Sketches saying, okay, picture this red or whatever,
And now we start with the plan, but then we render it into 3D, and we use 3 different programs to accomplish what we do. And one of the programs that you saw is where we actually take the colors and the textures and show it almost real time, like a photograph, almost 3-dimensional.
That's how real it looks. So, and people who are going through this process these days, what do they want in homes? Because it seems like we have all of this smart technology, and you're seeing that more and more. I'm not even sure I can wrap my head around it, but you do this because people want that.
Well, it really is kind of a male-female thing, the technology. So, usually the men want the gadgets and the dimmers that are all integrated together, which we can do. But when it comes down to it, it's mostly the thing that's really important is usability, people's lifestyles, and we really try to capture that, make sure we listen to what the uses are and how they live. And we tell them to feel like you're in the space, and, we want input so that we hit a home run.
Well, you were mentioning kitchens that, kitchens can look great, but maybe they're not really as useful as you want. But now you're kind of integrating all of that together so that they're really good cooking kitchens.
Exactly. And I mean, kitchens are very popular. We do a lot of them, and we're really good at designing kitchens and assisting with appliance selection, the plumbing fixture selection, and putting in the features that people want that they're going to use.
I've seen some really fancy bathrooms too, with all the steam and the remote controls for all of that, plus those really high-tech toilets. I mean, you must see all of that.
I do, and you're right on. I mean, people want those kind of features. Wall hung toilets are popular now. We have one job where we're doing a steam shower that's custom. It's all, we have to put it all together. There's a steam unit that's separate, and we do all the custom tile or stonework. And then to finish it off, you have to have a full height glass frameless panel, because you want to keep that steam in.
Okay, so how does it start? People are out there going, I really do want to renovate my home, or I want to create something that's totally different. How about when we come back, we'll talk about that,
Okay,
because
good.
I want to know the step-by-step process. How
Perfect.
easy is it? Is it a long, long wait? How can people finance this, and how can they get that visual aspect of it from you? So Greg Cantor, you can call Murray Lampert at 619-500-9485 or go to approvedhomepros.com/Murray Lampert. And also, when you come back, you're going to talk about some of the great client stories where you've had people who've just been blown away by the results.
Well, that's the goal.
Yeah, it is the goal, right? And it's not an easy process because there's a lot of aspects to it. So we will be right back.
If you're looking for approved home pros, you're in the right place. This is the Approved Home Pro Show.
2 days after Thanksgiving, people are pulling out the pumpkin pie for breakfast. Maybe.
Not a bad idea.
Maybe, or maybe it's all
Pumpkin
gone.
pie and coffee, that's not so bad.
I've thought it's been great for many years now around Thanksgiving. All right, we are talking with Greg, actually, about Murray Lampert Design, Build, Remodel, and the whole step-by-step process that people go through. And it seems, huge until you help them. So can you
Right.
talk about the process? How does it begin?
Well, it begins by us going out and just checking out the house, and just an informal, usually 1 hour meeting with the homeowners, and just to discuss their goals and try to get just a budget range. It's impossible to price out a job without a set of plans, but we just try to get an idea to make sure that it's realistic. Then if everything, if it's a fit for both parties, we invite them back, the clients back to our office for what we call Meet the Team. And that's where they get to meet me, my daughter who handles the architectural design and interior design, our interior designer, our project manager, and some of the other staff that, we call them the A-team. And that's all we have is the A-team. And they come in and meet our people so that they get that comfort level, and we build that rapport so that they know they're in good hands.
Speaking of that, knowing they're in good hands, because you're part of our Approved Home Pros, which are all, there's an integrity piece, I think, to everybody who's involved in this, and they're voted on by their peers to be a
Right.
part of this group. And so it's really cool to know that you use a lot of the other people
We
in that
do.
group.
I do personally. Our company does. I mean, not only with our clients, our friends, family, and it's just a great peace of mind to know that we have this giant toolbox of pros to pull from.
And this design center that you're talking about, you get to visualize and see what's possible for your home. And the price ranges really do vary. So I don't think that people should think I have to spend $1 gazillion in order to make this happen, because you can make it happen for them.
Absolutely. And you were touching on client stories, and I do have a really good client story, because we're about relationships and not just doing a job and going on down the road. We really want to be there for life. And we have a client in Coronado, in your backyard, basically, Linda, George and Patty Cava, great people. And we finished the job earlier this year. And this really made me feel good. They contacted my project manager and a couple of the other people that were involved with doing their project, and took them out to lunch because they missed us. So, I
Aw,
mean,
that's
that's the kind of
great.
relationships that we want to build. I mean, and it could be just that somebody needs a referral for some other service that we don't do. We want to be there for the long haul.
I remember trying to do a remodel on our own without the somebody who came in who was the expert. And it just, I think I almost got a divorce because of it. It was just so stressful. So when you have somebody who's taking care of it and that you're working that angle, I think it really makes a huge difference.
Well, and the analogy I use is, not only do you want to go with a company that's experienced, but the client experience is equally important. And so with those two, that's a formula for success.
Okay, so one more time, people can contact you at 619-500-9485 or approvedhomepros.com/Murray Lampert. And if you're ready to remodel your home, trust our resident expert. Call Murray Lampert Design, Build, Remodel at 619-500-9485. And what an experience to go through. And that step-by-step process, I think, makes it more realistic for people to say, okay, we can start and see where we are.
Absolutely.
And then the finished product is amazing. So thank you so much.
Well, thank you
for digging a little deeper, Greg. Because we always talk about so many other aspects of the pros and everything out there, and we don't really dig into your story.
Well, and I appreciate you interviewing me this time.
I know, what a difference. Okay, now we're talking about something that a lot of people want to change. And don't forget, by the way, just a quick thing. Connect with us online if you can. Follow us on Facebook. Just look for Approved Home Pros, and on Twitter at Approved Home Pro without the S at the end. Turf. Let's talk about what some people call the fake grass. Tough turtle turf. It's tough to say that 3 times, by the way. And we have a familiar voice back.
Yeah, very familiar.
Yeah, Kai Salmon.
Hi there.
Yes. He was on earlier with a different aspect, too, talking about windows, and now a tough turtle turf. And both of them are connected in a way because...
So he just took off one hat and put on the other hat, right?
He put on the turf hat.
We're multitaskers.
Yes, you are. So talking about turf, it's come a long way. It's not what we used to see before where it looked like something on a golf course, basically. It's different.
The visual used to be kind of just like green plastic in the yard.
I really personally don't like the term synthetic. I'd rather call it alternative turf.
Yeah.
Because it is an alternative and it looks so real that when you say synthetic, you think of AstroTurf.
Exactly. Yeah, it doesn't really paint the right picture in the mind. Nowadays, technology has improved vastly, and the visuals have gone from green plastic to now what looks to be, you actually have to really take a look and really dig deep and look into it to actually see if it's going to be artificial or real.
Yeah, because they even make it look like it has a little bit of dead grass mixed in.
Yeah, it's got a curly called thatch down at the base of it. It's very nutmeg colored, and it just helps it to blend, and it's really, really beautiful now.
And there's a lot of other benefits besides just the aesthetic look and beauty of turf. What are some of those other benefits?
Well, there's no more watering the space. There's no more mowing and maintenance, weeds. The biggest thing I've experienced is the emotional benefit of you're cooking in the kitchen, you look outside briefly, just catch it out of the corner of your eye, and it's green and beautiful. And it's not brown, there's not weeds. It just looks good and it feels good every day.
That's nice. But I think a concern for people, though, is if they have pets and the pets are going to go out and use it, then what do you do?
With pets, all you're going to have to do is the best recommendation is to put a topical deodorizer on top of the turf to trap any of that smelly stuff from going underneath the turf. It's kind of the same theory with carpet and carpet pad. We can clean the turf all we want, but we can't ever clean the substrate below. And so if any sort of number 1s or number 2s go below, that's where it just gets saturated and stays there.
Okay, so there is water drainage then. So you can go out there and clean it, make it look nice and fresh.
Correct. Yeah, turf drains really, really well. The only thing to know when you're doing artificial turf is if you have drainage problems in the backyard currently, like with last winter, we had a ton of heavy rain. If you have pooling back there that you had last year, we would probably want to address that drainage at the time before we do the turf installation.
So you put down a approved base.
Correct.
And possibly drainage. If someone has that kind of situation where they have drainage problems, you could correct this as part of the process.
Yes, exactly. And so, a lot of times what we'll do is we'll put a French drain in the backyard and tie it out to the front street so that any water that does get back into the space that can't have an exit point, we'll then give it an exit point.
Well, it's such a great alternative, and I know you said a lot of your clients use it as well in Southern California because we just can't depend on the rain to water our grass.
Oh yeah, it's tough in Southern California, especially. It's hard to do.
Well, and I think the other benefit of turf is that it has drainage built into the turf itself, and if it's installed properly, instead of having a rainy day where you go out to take the dogs and end up with muddy shoes, the water just drains through the turf and into the base, right?
Correct. Generally, a turf installation will improve drainage conditions. And so the only thing you have to be aware of is if you have standing pooling water for long periods of time. That's where we need to give it an exit point. But other than that, the artificial turf will drain actually a little bit better than your natural grass and soil will.
Okay, if people are out there and they're thinking about making a change, remember that you can start now and get some answers to questions about how to finance, all that stuff we're going to talk about when you come back. Kai Salmon is with us from Tough Turtle Turf. Call 858-519-1590 or go to approvedhomepros.com/hero and stay with us.
You're listening to the Approved Home Pro Show, your friends in the home improvement business.
All right, welcome back. Hey, I have been through Thompson's to look at all of their amazing stuff, and I know that you talk about that a lot, and you use a lot of their materials.
I do, and I want to give them, a testimonial that, we send our clients there, and they're located at 6618 Federal Boulevard, only a few miles from downtown.
It's easy to find, and they have kind of two aspects to it. One side is more materials.
Indoor and outdoor spaces and materials. So the pros go there to buy materials, but then they have the amazing showroom that's indoor and outdoor. And I also wanted to talk about an event that they're having on December 7th, 2017, this year. It's the 4th annual Tree of Dreams competition for Rady's Children's Hospital. And we're going to enter into this competition as Murray Lampert Design, Build, Remodel and decorate a tree. And how it works is people come in and they judge the trees, and then the proceeds go to Rady's Children's Hospital.
Oh, that's terrific.
So you can find
it's fun and it gives back.
Yes, they do. So you can go to Thompson Building Materials. It's thompsonbldg.com/San Diego, and you can find the entry to this competition, or you can just register to go attend the event.
I can't wait to see all the results from that. So again, amazing showroom. So we have been talking with Kai Salmon quite a bit during the show, actually. We've covered a lot of aspects here, but we're talking about turf, Tough Turtle Turf in particular, and all of the benefits of having turf as opposed to grass. Your Saturday morning isn't spent mowing. You don't have to, you can get up and just hang out, watch football, and do what you want to do, right?
Yep. It can just pretty much be enjoyed at that point. You really don't have to be messing with it. You don't have to really touch it. You just get to look at it, love it, and enjoy it.
And it's less maintenance and all of that. Can you look at, is there a variety of spaces that you can work with?
There's a variety of spaces that we can work with, and it really depends on, if it's a front yard, we develop certain products for a front yard application that have different visuals that blend well. In backyards, we have turfs that will have a bit more usability because they're a bit cooler, they're a bit stronger, so they can deal with the pets a little bit more. And so we've just kind of developed our turfs to kind of based on the application that people were looking for.
So a front yard might be like a Bermuda-looking turf,
Yep.
and the backyard, if there's kids or pets, then there's a different specific turf for that use.
Yeah, like in the front yard, for instance, we developed what's called our all natural, and it basically has 30% of its blades are nutmeg colored, so like a light brown colored. It blends beautifully with everyone's California dead grass, and so it's wonderful. And
you want it to look real. I think that's part of the point. Just me being in Coronado, I really have to look closely because it really does look real when you look at lawns that have that look to them.
Yeah, definitely. And then when you get into the backyards, usability is a really important thing because artificial turf does get warm in the summer, and in the sunlight it gets warm. And so we developed what's called our Cool Blade, and our Cool Blade is 20% cooler than all the other turfs on the market.
Okay, so that's good
pets,
to know.
Little kids, it's a huge impact.
Yeah, you don't want kids sitting down there and playing with blocks and getting too hot.
No, not at all.
Okay, and it is Southern California, so there's so many different ways. And even if you don't have a flat surface, you can still do it. If it's a
Oh yeah, and in my opinion, if your yard has a bit what's called undulation, where it rises up and dips down, the turf looks so much more natural at that point. It's just so much more gorgeous.
How fast can people get it installed? Does it take a while, or?
No, it doesn't. It's actually pretty quick in comparison to other exterior applications. We usually will do like an average sized 500 square foot front yard in about a day to a day and a half. So it goes pretty quick.
Okay, and what's
Yeah.
the first part of the process? What do you do if you're interested?
Well, if you're interested, you give us a call, and we'll send out an estimator, or we're going to send out a designer, depending on the application for you. If you guys are looking for a design, we'll send a designer, and we'll come out and take a look at the space, make sure that turf's going to be the right application for it. If it's not, we have other finishes that we work with.
Or a combination of
And a combination. And usually what happens is we do a combination because turf, it's an investment in the home. It certainly is, and it's not the most inexpensive investment, we'll say. So when you do a design, maybe you add a little rock border or you add a little planter box with plants. It changes the visual of the yard, makes it feel a little bit different, kind of shifts the feng shui of the yard.
So it's more of a landscape
Yeah,
thing.
right. Exactly. Yeah.
Okay. And so that number, by the way, 858-519-1590, or go to approvedhomepros.com/hero for more information on how to do that. I just want to throw that in because you're talking about how to contact you and what the first step is.
Yeah.
Okay, so we talked about how much, we alluded to how much it costs, but there are different financing options.
There are, and because artificial turf, it's an investment in the home, and done right, it's not a cheap thing to be done. But when done right, it will hold property value and sustain that over time. Now, the issue with that is a lot of times, for me personally, I don't have $10,000 in cash sitting to throw at my front yard today. And if I did, I don't necessarily want to throw it in the front yard. Christmas is coming up. We just had Thanksgiving, the holidays. And so, the Hero, it's a great program because it's for any energy efficient upgrade to the home.
So this is Renovate America's Hero program.
Correct. Yeah,
Okay.
it's through Renovate America. And basically you can pay back your energy efficient upgrades to your home through your property tax bill. You get a little tax benefit involved. And so it helps ease the burden of getting your home back up to an energy efficient standpoint.
And it's very flexible. I mean, because you could do there's different lengths of time to pay back the money, and then it's paid back through your property taxes twice a year. So it breaks up those payments over time so that you don't have to shoulder $10,000 at one time.
Exactly. Just makes it a little bit easier on everyone.
Okay, so that's another option. And all year long you do this. Is there any one time where it's really busy and people need to call way ahead, or is it just pretty steady?
It's pretty steady. I'd say for turf during summertime we get a little bit busier. That's just that's kind of the time to remodel the backyard.
And
Everyone's outside. They're playing in the yard. They're like, "Ooh, it's time to do it." But for the most part, we stay pretty consistent year round.
Mm-hmm. Okay, that sounds good. And I love the idea that you can actually add landscaping. You were talking about that.
Right.
You brought it up, Greg, but just about how people can do the differences. Yeah. All right. Well, thanks so much then for hanging out with us.
And takeaways?
Oh, yeah. What's your takeaways?
Well, if you're guilty to water your lawn, or you want to save on your water bill, because how water prices keep going up, and they
so
say
high.
there's a shortage, and then we're not sure if there's a shortage. Also, if you're tired of maintaining your lawn and mowing and fertilizing and weeding and all that stuff, or you want a green lawn 365 days a year, then I think turf is a great solution.
Okay. Tough Turtle Turf. For more information on artificial turf or Renovate America financing options, call Tough Turtle Turf. Name
Say it 3 times fast.
At 858-519-1590. Thanks so much for sticking around for so long.
Thanks for having me.
Appreciate it. Don't forget to watch our Approved Home Pro check-ins every Saturday morning on ABC 10 News. We have them at 6:55 and 8:55, and we highlight all these great local pros to help you learn how to get the most from your home improvements. And if you want to learn more or catch up on any topics you may have missed, you can see everything on approvedhomepros.com in our show archives section. So, I know we covered a lot of topics a couple days here after Thanksgiving, and we talked a lot about how you can bring people through the process from beginning to end on how to just make their home new looking and beautiful, or new.
Right.
You do it all.
Well, and I do want to talk about a client that we're working with. We just started with the design process, and she has a home in Encinitas that we're doing a whole house remodel on. It's a 2-story, and it's a really exciting job. It's going to have a view of the beach in Encinitas, decks with cable rail, some really cool features. and we're really excited to work with her, and we'll keep you posted on the process.
Oh, that's great.
And the progress.
Well, one of the good stories you told was that you really do get to know your clients very well, that they become part of your family, and that you're invited back even after all of that is
that says
done.
a lot, doesn't it?
It does say a lot, actually, when that happens. So, hey, next week on radios, Saturdays at 9 on News Radio 600 Kogo, be sure to watch us. And we have Allegiance Heating and Air. We have Renovate America Spotlights with the best value remodeling. So there's so many different aspects with our approved home pros that you will find out and be informed. So please stay tuned for that and enjoy the leftovers today, right? Are you going to go home and have some leftovers? What do you
Yes,
think?
I am. Probably a turkey sandwich.
Yeah, and I bet Kai is too as well.
Hopefully there's some leftover cranberries.
I know. Ooh, that's so good. Have a great rest of the weekend, everybody.